Some of you came into my comment section calling me a liar. Some of you said the underground tunnels in Mali were fake, exaggerated, invented for clicks, or part of propaganda. I saw the messages, I read the insults. And honestly, I stayed quiet at first because I knew something bigger was unfolding behind the scenes. But now, verified footage, intelligence reports, and eyewitness accounts are beginning to paint a disturbing picture that nobody can ignore anymore. The tunnels were real, hidden beneath strategic areas. Around Bamako, these underground networks allegedly contained sophisticated ammunition, military uniforms, communication devices, ventilation systems, food supplies, and signs of continuous activity. According to Malian sources, these passages were not random hiding places, ladies and gentlemen. They were allegedly used for secret movement, sabotage planning, and destabilization operations designed to weaken the country from within. And suddenly, the story stopped. Being about tunnels, it became about something much darker. Because the real question is not whether the tunnels existed. The real question is this: who benefits from keeping Mali unstable? Before I go further, please watch this 11-second footage of the tunnel. Now, after the French Emmanuel Macron's visit to Kenya, some ECOWAS just joined the AES state, and here is my proof.
From the LAZ to the Kidde, France cannot sleep. France cannot close its eyes. Following this statement, France cannot bear it.
Senegal is not a WhatsApp group. You can leave as you please, casting please, according to your political interests. There is one word that I never hear at the cities, yeah? Sovereignty. I hear all the words. I am currently reading all the documents, as many secure documents as possible. There is one word that you will never see: sovereignty. If Mali falls, we are next. We must not watch Mali fall. We must not wish for Mali to fall. So that we can say later, it served it right. It should not have left. We must fight. We must save West Africa, because what is happening in Mali is what awaits us all together.
Now, let me ask you this question. How do you honestly feel if some African leaders speak boldly about the Sahel? Comment your thoughts. And please like this video if you really support this revolutionary move.
The majority of the Western Hemisphere are the responsible for the destruction of our mother planet. So they cannot tell us they're coming to lecture us about tree planting, while every time they are destroying our planet. So we are going to the street today to demonstrate to the Kenyan people that there are some sane people in Kenya who are able to advance an anti-imperialist agenda.
Emmanuel Macron represents French imperialism, not Pan-Africanism. He is not a Pan-Africanist, he is an imperialist. What have they done to the Sahel? What have they done to Cote d'Ivoire? What have they done to Gaddafi in Libya? That's the heritage of French imperialism, not in the 19th century, not even in the 20th century, that's all in the 21st century. That's what their face is like. There's no development. When they say development, it's development of their military bases, not development for the Kenyan people. It's not Pan-Africanism.
Now, let me tell you something clearly. The Malian intelligence services, security forces, soldiers, and ordinary civilians reportedly worked together to uncover these clandestine underground networks. Authorities described the situation as an asymmetric war involving terrorist groups, criminal organizations, and hostile foreign interests operating in the shadows. The transitional government praised patriotic citizens for helping expose the networks and vowed to prosecute everyone connected to destabilization efforts. But listen carefully, the tunnels themselves are not the biggest story here. They are only symptoms of a deeper battle spreading across Africa right now. And that deeper battle begins with one uncomfortable reality. France is losing its grip on the Sahel. For decades, many African governments operated under systems heavily influenced by Paris politically, economically, and militarily. But Mali's transformation under General Assimi Goïta changed the atmosphere completely. Whether people support him or not, one fact is impossible to ignore. Mali challenged France openly and survived. That psychological barrier mattered more than many people understand. Because for years, challenging French influence was treated almost like political suicide. Leaders feared sanctions. They feared isolation. They feared military pressure. They feared economic collapse. Then Mali expelled French troops, redefined its alliances, and inspired conversations spreading far beyond Bamako. That is why Emmanuel Macron continues speaking about Mali so aggressively, because what happened there was not just a diplomatic disagreement, it represented a symbolic defeat for French influence in one of its most important strategic regions. The withdrawal of French forces from Mali was seen by many Africans as more than military restructuring. To them, it felt like the collapse of fear itself. And once fear begins collapsing, power starts shifting very quickly. That shift became impossible to ignore during the Franco-Africa Summit hosted in Kenya. The event was supposed to project partnership, diplomacy, and renewed cooperation. Instead, protests erupted outside, exposing the growing anger spreading across the continent. Demonstrators openly accused France of maintaining imperial influence in Africa while pretending to support African development. One protester delivered a statement that immediately exploded across political discussions online. He said, "Emmanuel Macron represents French imperialism, not Pan-Africanism." That sentence hit like thunder because it captured emotions many Africans I have been expressing privately for years. And what made the moment even more powerful was the location itself. This was Kenya, not Mali, not Burkina Faso, not Niger. Even non-Francophone African countries are now openly questioning France's role on the continent. At the same time, criticism against ECOWAS has intensified. Senegalese politician Guy Marius Sagna became one of the loudest voices challenging the organization publicly.
Sovereignty. If Mali falls, we are next. We must not watch Mali fall. We must not wish for Mali to fall.
He argued that ECOWAS speaks constantly about regional stability but rarely addresses the deeper issue of sovereignty. According to him, too many African nations still depend heavily on foreign powers for security, healthcare, education, and economic survival. Then he delivered the warning that shook many viewers across West Africa. If Mali falls today, another African country could become vulnerable tomorrow. That fear is spreading because people increasingly see the Sahel not as an isolated conflict, but as a test case for Africa's future direction. And this is exactly why the AES alliance between Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger is receiving so much attention. Supporters see these nations as symbols of resistance against external control. Franklin Nyamsi pushed this message even further, arguing that Africa is entering a period of political awakening unlike anything seen in decades. According to this growing to believe they can survive without foreign control shaping every major national decision. But this story is not simple. Real people are trapped inside the consequences. Across the continent, young Africans face unemployment, insecurity, rising frustration, and uncertainty about the future. Citizens are exhausted from hearing promises while instability continues year after year. People want sovereignty, dignity, and independence. But sovereignty also comes with sacrifice, uncertainty, and risk. That contradiction is what makes this moment so dangerous and so historic at the same time. So when you hear about underground tunnels in Mali, understand what this story truly represents. The tunnels were not just hidden beneath Bamako. They symbolize an invisible struggle over Africa's future, politically, economically, psychologically, and militarily. France losing influence in the Sahel is no longer just a regional issue. It is becoming part of a larger. Africa is no longer whispering about sovereignty. It is shouting it. And if the Sahel transformed this rapidly within only a few years, imagine the political shockwaves waiting quietly beneath the surface of the rest of Africa today. But here is the question I want you to answer in the comments below. Do you believe Africa is truly entering a new era of sovereignty, or is this only the beginning of a more dangerous struggle? Subscribe now and stay with this channel because the events unfolding across Africa, changes are moving faster than many people realize, and the next chapter may change the continent forever.